Bobby Weir, founding member of the Grateful Dead. Fans mourn his death, but his legacy lives on in music, in friendship, and throughout the animal welfare community. From Grateful Rescue right here in Muncie, Indiana, to farm sanctuaries across the country, we'll look at the impact Bobby Weir had on people saving animals. And hello, welcome to Grateful Rescue TV and a tribute to Bobby Weir. And Harry wants to see this too. Pamela Terhune is here. I'm Patty, and we have, who do we have with you?
Hey, Patty. We have Lori West and Kelly Taylor, my travel buddies from the Grateful Dead days.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, he wants to come over there. Yay. Tell us why we're doing a tribute on a pet show to Bobby Weir. What's your connection?
Well, Patty, as you know, I'm a deadhead. I'm an old hippie at heart. And whenever I decided to do a rescue, I thought, what better name than Grateful? There's so many meanings of the word grateful, and then it's the namesake of our dear band that we love.
And you were friends with him as well.
We were. We have some memories to share through the program. My contribution to the legacy of Bobby was the fact that we did meet him through a mutual friend. She took me backstage and introduced me these gals and Bobby. Okay. And you guys, wouldn't you say once you were friends, you were family?
Oh, absolutely. The Deadhead community, that's the biggest, one of the biggest parts of being
wonderful.
It was.
At a show.
Yeah. And so show after show, we became friends with Bobby. Once you got in, you were in. And another reason we're doing a tribute to Bobby is because not only are we naming the rescue after the Grateful Dead, Bobby also had a rescue dog named Otis.
Oh, yeah. Well, we've got a lot to do, so we better get going. Here's more on Grateful Rescue TV.
Pamela, I would like to tell you about a wonderful organization that Bobby advocated for called Farm Sanctuary. Founded 40 years ago by Gene Bauer. He advocated for farm animals and wanted to just educate people about the effects of factory farming and maybe change their ways about thinking what they put in their mouths and what they eat.
Right.
40 years today, fast forward, he's got two big, beautiful farms that are refuges, one in upstate New York, one outside of California. And they live these rescued animals live their lives out. Bobby jumped on board, supported his cause. Let's take a look.
Hi. Hey, Natasha. Hey, Bob. How you guys doing?
Just fine yourself.
So wonderful to be here with you, Bob. And I am an enormous fan and enormously grateful for what you and the Grateful Dead did to launch Farm Sanctuary, to help launch us 35 years ago. And I actually have a picture here of our VW van selling meatless hot dogs in the parking lots of Grateful Dead shows. How does it feel to have been such a catalyst for that movement?
Well, it feels natural, I'll say that. I fell in line. You were maybe a bit before your time with that. I was, proud practicing omnivore 35 years ago, but I was open, and I sort of religiously open.
What you created there with the Grateful Dead was this community.
Where all that came from, as far as I can tell, is what makes best sense. The old hippie ideal, if it feels good, do it. If it feels right is what I think people were really trying to get at. If it feels right, do it. And kindness is enormously important. It was real clear to us that the kindness was going to be an important building block. We managed to make that abundantly clear to anyone who wanted to watch or listen to us.
The shows were really about that, right? About kindness, belonging, acceptance.
You could see it in real time on stage. We'd trade ideas, musical ideas, leitmotifs. We were kind to each other, and things happened. Things worked.
And it spawned all kinds of other beautiful things. In terms of kindness, it's important to be kind to our friends, our family, our coworkers, but also the planet we live on and other animals. Have you, I understand, been thinking a little bit more about that?
I reflect on that daily. Back when I was a kid, I worked on a cattle ranch. I did all that stuff to cattle, and I never did it happily because it hurt me to hurt them. It was painful to me. And now, in order to be a top dog factory farm, you have to resort to cruelty. The problem there is that if that kind of cruelty is okay, then where does it stop? Is it then okay to be cruel to the planet? And that cruelty does extend to the planet. Where do you stop turning a blind eye?
Yeah. Have there been many of these conversations over the years within the Grateful Dead community that you can recall?
There was a time back when that Jerry and I both went vegetarian for a couple of years. And after about 3 weeks of being vegetarian, a peace came over me. And it's subtle, but it's there. Believe me, it's there. I don't miss meat at all. It's possible to change your tastes, what you're looking for in flavors, in nutrition, and it's working for me.
It is a lot easier now. When we started with the veggie hot dogs, those were processed foods. And then here's a picture from the show in Soldier Field in 2015. And that's a veggie dog. They actually had vegan hot dogs inside Soldier Field.
Progress is being made, and it's a matter of just raising awareness. With a minor bit of adjustment, you'll be happier. You feel like you're doing the right thing, and that always feels good.
Well, my favorite memory of him is just meeting him and him being so generous and kind and soft-spoken and very welcoming backstage. And everybody was drinking beer, and I was just sitting there, and he came up to me and asked me if I wanted a beer, and he actually went and got me a beer and
where
opened
was
it for me.
the concert? Where was
That was at the Vogue, actually, here in Indianapolis.
Neat.
So, and I have many other memories, very fond memories of him, and I'm going to miss him dearly. So, yeah.
Here's to that beer. There you go.
That's right. Cheers.
Here's to you, Bobby.
He had an aura about him, and what was really great was he would draw people in when you had the opportunity and the privilege to be able to speak with him backstage or after a show, one-on-one, or in a group setting. People were so drawn to him. He was so intelligent. And it was almost like just having a conversation with him. You were still almost watching him perform because his words were like lyrics coming out of his mouth.
They were.
Wonderful.
So everything he said was so deep.
It was deep. So that's what I loved about him. He was so interesting to be around.
And again, we want to mention that he just recently passed, so that's why we're doing this tribute
Yes.
to him. Good for you.
Very sad for us, but we're here together today to just remember him so fondly.
And you want to share one of your favorite memories about him and animals, right?
I do. Well, Bobby also had a rescue dog, and his name was Otis.
Otis, I love
There's
that.
been a lot of rumors on the internet about how Otis came along into Bobby's life. Some thought he was a stray. And what he told me was a neighbor owned Otis, and he would kind of befriend Bobby on the beach and would leave the house and be with Bobby all day long. So the owners finally came to Bobby and said, "You want my dog?
You want my dog?"
I think he wants you." And Bobby's like, "Sure." And so Otis went on to be pretty famous among the Deadheads. In fact, on their album Reckoning, he comes out in the middle of the show. You
On
can hear all the
stage.
Deadheads screaming.
Yes.
And Bobby's sitting there trying to get him to go back off the stage, and he's grinning, but he's trying to be mean, you know. And Jerry says, "That's Otis." And so Otis made a famous appearance once in concert too.
And how big was he?
He was like a lab shepherd type mix.
Fairly large.
Yes.
Yeah, he was a big guy.
A big guy.
So, Mike and I are going to share a very special memory with you the day that Bobby Weir married us at his home in Stinson Beach. I affectionately call this segment We're Married. Get it? Mm-hmm. So, knowing Bobby was ordained to perform wedding ceremonies, I had texted Tasha and asked her if he would consider doing our wedding ceremony.
And he said yes.
And he said yes. And so about 3 months, that was about 3 months in advance, we had planned our flight and booked our stay and made plans to do this.
But about a month before the wedding, Bobby had collapsed on stage while on tour.
Yeah. And he was going to be in the hospital for quite a while. So we knew we had to make other plans. We all decided it was best. And Natasha did say, maybe when it gets closer to time, maybe, but for now, it's just better to be safe.
So we did. And we were married at the Little White Wedding Chapel there in Las Vegas on June the 1st.
Yeah. And then we were in a cab ride a little bit later, and I get a text from Natasha that says, "Fly up." And my heart sank. I was like, "Tasha, we just got married." And she said, "Well, fly up anyway. He can do a Buddhist blessing, or he can do a renewal on your vows. Just come."
Bobby had only been out of the hospital a couple of days.
He had only been out of the hospital for 2 days.
Yeah, but we booked a flight immediately and were in San Francisco the very next morning.
Yeah. And we called to let them know we'd be arriving in about an hour. And I could hear Bobby in the background saying, "Tell her we look like the dog patch."
We were a match.
And I started laughing. I'm thinking, wait, is Bobby asking me to excuse the way he looks? And then I pictured that he might be in his cut off at the knee pants and an oversized shirt with bare feet, which was pretty much exactly what we saw when he opened the door and welcomed us in. And Tasha had set up the whole event. She bought me a bikini, she bought me a sheer cover-up, and a veil, and flowers. She had arranged to do the ceremony on the ocean, which was their front yard. And their backyard was the mountains. It was like Stinson Beach, where the mountains meet the sea. And although I did have a cover-up, it was very sheer. And we got some laughs out of that wedding photo. Natasha called it the Princess Di photo, but Bobby said I had some showbiz going on.
Yes. And the youngest daughter, Chloe, was to be our flower girl. And their old English sheepdog, Jackson, was going to be our best man.
It was a beautiful ceremony. It was just us. And after the ceremony, they took us out to dinner before we said our goodbyes, and I gave Bobby a hug and thanked him from the bottom of my heart. When Bobby would say something very meaningful, he would look up in the sky and put his finger up. And he said this, doing just that. He said, "Always remember, it was truly my pleasure."
Rest in peace, Bobby. You were a very good man. We're going to miss you.
We love you so much.
And we'll see you on the other side.
And as you used to say in the Loose Lucy song, thank you for a real good
time.
Hi, I'm Al Unser Jr., two-time Indy 500 winner.
I'm Norma Unser, Grateful Rescue board member, and we need you to join the Project Pit Stop.
Grateful Rescue is building housing to save lives of the pit bulls of Indianapolis. Many are on death row. Make a donation right now at gratefulrescue.org.
Al and I love Grateful Rescue's mission at giving dogs a second chance at life.
So help us save the pit bulls with Project Pit Stop.
Pam, remember whenever you had 11 of Paisley's puppies?
11 of Paisley's
yes,
puppies,
and
yeah.
you named one of them Bobby,
Named
after
one
Bobby.
after Bobby,
Yeah,
that's right.
because it looked so much like Bobby.
It did. Well, you know, I was trying to find a litter theme name, and my husband looked at, I'm sitting there holding the one that was named Bobby, and he's just looking at it, and he's like, that looks like Bobby Weir. And so we became the legendary, they were legends, and Bobby
11 of
kicked
them.
that off. And it does look like Bobby Weir. Take a look.
This one's named Bobby. She is named after my favorite singer, Bobby Weir. And this is Mikey. Mikey likes all the food, just like the old commercial. He likes it. Hey, Mikey. And this is Takum. He's named after my father. And the reason I named him is because my dad was a basketball star for LaPel High School, and their colors are black and gold, just like this little guy. And Sydney was named after Sidney Poitier. This is Simon, and Simon was named after Paul Simon, one of my favorite folk singers. And this is little Miss Betty White. She's the runt of the litter, and she was named on Betty White's birthday. This is Ginger, and she was named after Ginger Rogers. She's got a little prance about her that reminds me of a dancer. And this is Peyton, and he's named after my favorite football star, Walter Payton, because he's like the biggest little bear of the bunch. Okay, and this is Liza. Liza was named after Liza Minnelli. She's got that gorgeous silky black hair. And this is Stuart. Stuart's named after little Mr. Stuart, Stewie Spittler. And he's just a little mini-me of Stewie, looks like.
If these dogs could talk, they would be saying, "Thank you, Pamela, for saving our lives." In January of 2022, a surprise of 11 puppies came into the picture for Pamela after she took in the backyard breeder bunch in late 2021. After learning how to take care of them, raise them from childbirth, and making sure they were weaned from their mother, she began the adoption process.
As you can tell, they're very socialized, and all these backyard breeder dogs were also once puppies just like this, and they were never held and never loved, and they didn't know what it was like. So this is a whole different litter here than what you would have seen from their ancestors that came from the same breeder, because they know no fear, and they don't know hatred. They're all love.
Many months have passed, and now it's time for the second annual Grateful Fest in Muncie, Indiana. A gathering has been planned for this special day to bring these siblings back together to celebrate their champion in the symposium hall.
We are here at one of the most exciting gatherings at Grateful Fest, near and dear to my heart. You all know Paisley and Paisley's puppies, and we are here with Paisley's puppies. They're all here for a reunion.
Each pup gave kisses to their original caretaker as their current caregiver and owner thanked Pamela for all the work she does for animals in need. Pamela, elated to see the puppies, along with a couple of Maggie's pups as well, was so happy she almost broke down in tears of joy.
Hi, sweetheart. Oh my goodness. Oh my God, I love them so much. Oh.
This just shows her passion for her work and the animals she cares for. Reporting in Muncie, Indiana, I'm Adam Byers-Dunn for Grateful Rescue TV.
Hi friends. This sweet girl you see in front of you was born Bobby, named after Bobby Weir, a founder of Grateful Dead Band, and good friend of Pam Terhune, owner of Grateful Rescue and Sanctuary. When we adopted her, we changed her name to Countess Bobby and call her Tess for short because of all of our rescues that had royalty names. We love Tess to pieces. Tess was born in Pam Terhune's kitchen at Grateful Rescue in a litter of 11 from her mama Paisley. We are so grateful for Grateful Rescue for taking in Paisley and giving her puppies a place safe to be born into the world and giving them great lives. We feel like we got a special pup because of her name being Bobby, after Pam's good friend, Bobby Weir. Tess is a really good girl. She loves chasing rabbits around her big fenced backyard. She loves protecting her mom and dad and being the neighborhood watchdog. So we're grateful to have Tess in our lives and so thrilled that she was named for such a fantastic person in Pam's life.
And so we turned to some of our followers and asked them to let us know what animals they've named after the Grateful Dead. Let's take a look. One of my favorite memories, once we got into the group, we got invited to a wedding down by Ole Miss in Mississippi in Oxford. And it started at a library before the wedding, then the wedding, and then we went to some hole-in-the-wall bar where Bobby was playing. It was about 2 blocks from the hotel. Well, after the concert was over and the party, we were going to walk back. I had my mother with me. She was my +1 Patty.
Okay.
and so we had to walk 2 blocks back to our hotel. And there were 6 women trying to get in Bobby's car to ride back with him. And Bobby says, the only way we're going to get everybody in this car is if we put the top down. It was a convertible.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So we all pile in, and I look out. There's one person missing, and it's my mother.
Oh no!
And she's standing out there, and I said, Mom, come on, get in. And she says, oh, I'm afraid my head will get cold. It was in February.
Cold.
And do you know, Bobby immediately got out of the car and said, I'll walk with you.
That's
Isn't
so
that
sweet.
Wonderful.
He walked too. Funny thing, should have seen all the other people that wanted to walk too after that.
They all wanted to walk.
So that's my favorite memory of
That's a
Bobby.
lot.
He knew and loved my mother as well.
That's a wonderful memory.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Hi, I'm Al Unser Jr., 2-time Indy 500 winner.
I'm Norma Unser, Grateful Rescue board member, and we need you to join the Project Pit Stop.
Grateful Rescue is building housing to save lives of the pit bulls of Indianapolis. Many are on death row. Make a donation right now at gratefulrescue.org.
Al and I love Grateful Rescue's mission at giving dogs a second chance at life.
So help us save the pit bulls with Project Pit Stop.
We're building a place where homeless animals find forever homes. A place where people connect with animals in a beautiful park. A place that brings people and pets together, building lifelong bonds. That place is the Grateful Rescue and Sanctuary, a proud partner with Best Friends Animal Society.
Sanctuaries are a place where cruelty is met with kindness. It's about kindness to animals, but it's also about respecting others, respecting ourselves, respecting the earth, living in a way that doesn't cause unnecessary harm. I got this van in California in the early mid-1980s. We used this van to do investigations of farms, stockyards, and slaughterhouses. And the way we funded the organization back in those days was selling vegan hot dogs at Grateful Dead shows out of this van. It was an open-minded crowd. And I remember on occasion somebody would come up and stand in front of our table and look at these images and just be affected by them and start crying. Hilda, our first rescued animal, was rescued in this van, who we found left on a pile of dead animals behind Lancaster stockyards in Pennsylvania. So we took her off the dead pile, brought her to a veterinarian thinking she would have to be euthanized. As the veterinarian was examining her, she actually started perking up and then she stood up. And she lived with us for more than 10 years. And she's actually buried up on the farm right now. It's not possible for sanctuaries to rescue all the animals who are currently being exploited and slaughtered. So we need to change the system. And farm sanctuaries play a very important role in modeling a different kind of relationship with other animals. The animals become ambassadors, and people who are touched by them can go out and educate others. You know, farm sanctuary is a place, but it's also a mission. The idea is to rescue individuals and then ultimately to change the world.
And we thank you again for joining us on this very special Grateful Rescue TV show, tribute to Bobby Weir, the Grateful Dead. And we thank you, Pamela, always.
Thank you.
And Lori.
Yay.
And Kelly.
Thank you, girls.
You're welcome.
I loved you so much.
We love you too.
She loves everybody.
Love, we just all
It's all love. Yay.
We thank you for joining us on Grateful TV.